We learn multiplication tables beginning with 5 times table, which is very simple, in this particular fashion using visuals. We know any number can be represented by a row and some columns. So, for example, 5 can be represented as one row with 5 little squares. Therefore, it is one row and 5 columns. And if you want 2 times 5, so that is first 5, the second 5. So we have 2 5s in 2 rows next to each other, and together they add up to 10. But we can also see this 2 times 5 from the columns point of view. The first column of 2, the second 2, the third 2, the fourth 2, and the fifth 2. So the same visual of 2 rows and 5 columns can also be seen to be visual for 5 times 2. So whether we say 2 times 5 or 5 times 2, the little squares in this rectangle give you the answer. So we learn that 2 5s make up a 10, and there is nothing else. So 2 times 5 is 5 plus 5, and that is 110 and nothing, and that's how we write it, 110 and nothing, or simply 110. Similarly, 3 times 5 or 5 times 3 is seen as a visual of 3 rows and 5 columns. So looking at the rows, it is 3 5s or 3 times 5, but looking at the columns, we have 5 3s. So they must be the same. 3 times 5 or 5 times 3 must be the same. And these 2 5s add up to 110, and there's just one more 5. That is 3 times 5 is 110 plus 5. That is 110 and 5 or 50. Next, we see 4 times 5. Okay, so you have 4 rows like this and 5 columns. First column, second column, third column, fourth column, and fifth column. So 4 times 5 or 5 times 4 represent the same number of little squares contained in this rectangle of 4 rows and 5 columns. And we can count 4 times 5 as this. The first 2 5s, they give us the first 10, then the next 2 5s give us the second 10. So 4 times 5 is 2 10s and nothing else. So that is 2 10s and nothing, or 20. Then 5 times 5. Okay, so we have 5 rows, first row, second row, third row, fourth row, and fifth row. And then 5 columns exactly. First column, second column, third column, fourth column, and then the fifth column. So there are 5 rows and also 5 columns. So the outline of this array is a square of 5. We know a square of 5 has 5 times 5. We see that. So to find out the number of little squares, we see these 2 5s add up to the first 10. Then these 2 5s add up to the next 10, that is second 10. And then we have just one more 5. So 5 times 5 is 2 10s plus 5, or 2 10s and 5. We also call it 25. That's it. 5 times 5 is 25. Then we come to 6 times 5. So we have 6 rows, See, the second row, the third row, the fourth row, the fifth row, and the sixth row, and the columns remain the same as 5. So it gives us 6 times 5 as also 5 times 6. They must be equal. And 6 times 5 we count like this. The first two fives give us 110. The second two fives give the second 10. And the last two fives give us the third 10. So 6 times 5 is 3 tens and 0 or nothing, or 30. 3 tens and nothing. Thank you.